it's your girl Miss Nadia T, and I'm back again with another video. And today's video is going to be about how to build your credit once you turn 18. All the important things that you need to know about your credit score, building credit, and what really a credit score or credit does. Because so many people don't know that credit is so much important than actually having physical money all the time. And it's just good to have a good credit score throughout everything. And a lot of things nowadays, or a lot of things period or whatever, have to go based off of credit, and a lot of that's something that a lot of people do not know. So today I'm going to be giving you a little rundown about credit, how to build it, what it does, where it come from, all that. Okay, so let's get right into it. So there are three major companies that have to do with credit. So the one company is FICO, also known as the Fair Isaac Corps. There's TransUnion, and there's also a company called Vantage. So these are the three basic companies. Well, they're not basic, but these are the three companies that you would have to know about when it comes to credit. And your credit score may be different. Like, the score may vary throughout each company, but it won't be a big difference. So for instance, say your credit score is a 690 at FICO, it could be a 670 or a 705 at TransUnion, and at Vantage it could be a 700. So it's not always a big difference in the variation of the scores, but it's always going to be in the same category. Sometimes it might just be the same straight across, but a lot of times it's not really like that. It's always a little bit of a difference, but it's in the same area. So the average credit score, FICO credit score in America today, is a 695. Now, a 695 is not good and it's not bad. It's what you call average credit. Credit ranges between 300 and 850. 850 is the good end. That's the high end. The higher you go, the better your credit is, and the more you'll be able to get to. 300 is almost like if you wanted to go buy a car and your credit score was 300, you might as well just take the bus for a little bit, because you want to build that up. When you go to buy a car and your credit score is 300, your APR rate is going to be high. Like some APR rates start at like 3%. Your APR rate could be a 21% or a 27%. Like, it all depends on the bank. So that's why credit is so important, because it helps when you're going to buy a car, when you're going to buy a house. You'd be surprised when you're going to these phone companies, they are running your credit. Especially if you're someone that finances your phone, meaning you pay monthly payments on your phone, they are running your credit before they even give you the phone. And monthly payments for phones are only like 25 to 40 bucks. So yeah, your credit, it does play a big part in a lot of things that you do in your everyday life. So I am going to tell you guys 5 ways that you can build your credit. So way number 1 is you get a credit card. So many people might be scared of credit cards, but credit cards range as well. So there's a lovely little website called NerdWallet, and when you go on NerdWallet, it helps you pick out the best credit card for you, for your finances, and so on. So when you go on NerdWallet, they're going to ask you a couple questions. They're going to ask you, what do you do for a living? Are you a student? Do you work? Are you a student and you work, or whatever the case may be? They're going to ask you about how much do you think you make a year. They're going to ask you so many different questions just so they can pick a good credit card for you. So when I went on there, I'm a student, I also work, and they paired me up with the Journey card. They pair you up with multiple cards, but they give you one main card that they think is going to be the best one for you. And that's, for me, it was the Journey card. And it's more like a student card. The APR rate is not that bad, and so on. So when you get a credit card, you usually get a limit. So limits can vary as well. Limits can go from $100, $200, $500, $1,000, even $5,000. Like limits, it is almost like no limit when it comes to credit card limits. It's all based on how much you get paid. So your credit card limit is how much you have on that card each month to spend. And so, for instance, if you have a $500 limit, they say you should only spend about 30% of your limit every month, because you don't want to spend the whole thing. Because if you have $1,000 limit and you spend that $1,000 back, you do have to pay it back, and after a while they're going to start charging you. Credit cards have late fees for if you don't pay back in time, and it's just a whole process that you don't want to go through. So if you have a credit card and you want to establish some credit with it, if you have a $500 limit, you should only spend about $100 to $120 a month from that credit card, and instantly pay it back. And I also heard this tip that if you spend a little bit over your 20% or whatever with your credit card, and you pay like little increments, like sometimes they give you the lowest minimum payment you can pay is $25. When you do those low increments, it shows that you're trying. So that also helps a little bit with your credit when it comes to having a credit card. Okay, let's move on. So the next one, let's not move on. So there's two things: a secured credit card, and they have student credit cards. And it's also like if you have your bank may offer a credit card. There's a lot of places you can get a credit card from. So now we're moving on. So the next thing is you can get a loan. There are certain loans just to help you build your credit. So it's almost like a personal loan. So you can get these loans and pay, like, you can use them for good things that you need. Like if you are a college student and you want to buy a car, you can. But you can use this loan to help build your credit, and it's also helping you get things that you need to get. 3, you could be a cosigner. So if you have a family member that wants to buy a car, you can cosign. And if they continue to pay those payments every month on time, they're building both your credit and their credit. That one is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. 4, you can become an authorized user. So if you have a family member and they have a credit card, or for instance, let me say a Gap card. The store Gap has their own credit card. You can become an authorized user. Say if you have your mother, she has a Gap card. If you become an authorized user and you're able to use the Gap credit card as well, that means that if you guys are paying that Gap card off and you're buying your jeans and stuff every month, and the balances continue to refresh and stuff like that, you will be good. You and their credit will raise as well. And one more way you can help establish your credit is paying your bills. So many people do not know this, but a lot of bills have to do with credit. Water bills, electric bills, rent has to do with credit. Because if you didn't know, if you wanted to rent an apartment, they run your credit to make sure that you pay things. Because if you're not paying this rent, then who is? So they're running your credit. They're trying to see how you are as a person. They're seeing how you do with your money, if you're paying it back or if you pay it when you have to. So if you're constantly paying your rent, or if you're even your phone bill, if you're constantly paying your phone bill, it does help your credit a lot, like more than you think. So on to the next thing. Let me tell you guys how credit helps with a lot. So if you have a low credit score and you want to go buy a house or you want to go buy a car, it's going to be very hard unless you have flat out cash. And not too many people have flat out cash to go buy a brand new car or to go buy a brand new house. So when you're going to do so, you need good credit. So there's a story I know about a lady I used to work with, and she had a I know it was over 800, so I don't know the exact number. I feel like it was like an 825, but I know her credit score was over 800, and she went and got a brand new Hyundai. And when she went and got this car, her car was only $125 a month for her car payment. This is a car note, yes, for a brand new car, yes, fresh off the lot, yes. And her car note was only about $125. And usually, the shortest amount of years when you're buying a car, like financing, is about 5 years. And she was going to be paying this car off in 4. And it was just that easy because her credit score was so high. So credit, it really does help you a lot. It helps like extremely a lot. Credit, it gets you far. And it even Jay-Z said it in one of his songs. So this is like a little video so it can help you realize how to establish some credit, what you need to do, what credit can really get you to, and so on. But let me tell you one more thing about credit. Student loans. Student loans can kill your credit. If you graduated school and you still have these student loans and you haven't paid them back yet, you have your career, you are hurting yourself. You might have your career making your money, but your credit score is going low. Your pay rate might be going high, but your credit score is going low. Borderline low. It's going down. And that is not okay. If your credit score is low, things are not going to be good for you unless you're like Steve Bezos and you could just like throw the cash out like that. But credit, you got to get your credit right. Student loans, especially if you're in school, some student loans still try to get you while you're still in school. You should defer them until you're finished school. Prove to them that you're still in school so they won't be still coming after you, because that is coming up on your credit report. If you got a $5,000 loan, a $20,000 loan, if you're not ready to pay it, you need to defer it. You could defer it and tell them you haven't got a job yet. You might have to tell a little fib, but you could defer it and say you haven't got a job yet. You could defer it and say you have school. And if you do have school, they do know. Because if you're registered for school and you're going through financial aid and you're filling out a FAFSA, they know. Trust me. But yeah, this is just going to wrap up this video. This is just a simple video to teach you guys a little something about credit and how far it can get you and what it really does for you. But this is just a little wrap up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, you comment, and subscribe, because when you subscribe, you also need to press that post notifications bell so you can see all the videos I post. I have so much for you guys, and it's crazy because y'all know I'm the girl that can do everything. I got everything for y'all on my channel, like everything. Like everything. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys got a lot of information from this video and so on. Have a good one.